Hey YouTube, here again to do another movie review, and the camera is steady. It's on my speaker right now. Sorry it took me so long. I've been sick for the past week and I didn't want to strain my voice too much. Avengers 2 Age of Ultron review. Jumping into it. Had very high expectations, and both the action scenes and the character development and the character interactions delivered. That's not to say the movie isn't flawed. To just give the structure up front, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and then we'll talk about what's next for Marvel. Good. Action, awesome. Again, character development, character interactions was awesome. Vision. Wow, he was easily the show stealer for this movie. And Ultron, I think Ultron is up there with Loki in terms of good villains and memorable villains. Now Marvel has two good villains, and a couple okay ones and a couple bad ones, and mostly bad ones. Yeah, James Spader's portrayal. Some people complain he was too human for a robot, but I thought that was good because it classifies him as overly intelligent AI, and I love that. And I also like how he almost had emotions. Like, he was trying to be sympathetic. He was trying to be like, "But I'm trying to save you." It showed that they tried to portray his motivations, and I like that. More good. Hulkbuster scene, amazing. The whole thing is online now. There's a video online that's going around with it flopped, meaning flipped but horizontally online, but it's definitely worth seeing in theaters for the sound and the scale. Andy Serkis. He was great. And Hawkeye's character development, great. Time for the bad. Russian accents by Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Not those, or Sokovian accents is not good. Mine probably better. No, it's not better, but still almost dead. Theirs was bad, very bad. Especially Quicksilver's. Aaron Taylor Johnson's best performance has been Kick-Ass. And a close second, maybe Godzilla's, but distant. One of his worst performances has been Quicksilver. That's not to say it wasn't a good portrayal of the character. And the effects and the animation weren't good. It literally was almost as good as Days of Future Past, but noticeably weak compared to the gargantuan cast. Also bad, Scarlet Witch and the Hulk and Bruce Banner, their love connection, which is out of nowhere and does not make sense, especially since Scarlet Witch, and she kind of tried to explain it at the farmhouse, how she doesn't have ovaries, and because of what Russia did to her. But that wasn't enough of an explanation for me. I really want to think that Nick Fury is having her keep tabs on him. Like in Avengers 1, she was his primary contact in the Avengers, and she just has been his contact ever since. But yeah, I don't like it. I mean, could have dealt with it okay until the scene in the third act where Scarlet Witch kisses him and then shoves him off a cliff, and then the Hulk jumps up. It was just, like much of this movie, it was too rushed and not necessary. Maybe Joss is trying to have more weight to the Hulk not coming back, trying to do a parallel to Agent Carter and Captain America, but it's just not necessary, especially with a movie this full. Time for the ugly. Speaking of a movie this full, movie, as I've mentioned, is amazing, hugely entertaining, but too cluttered. I am a Marvel fan, so I understand everything that is going on, but a lot of it is not necessary. It seems like most of the movie is spent just, this is what's happening in Phase 3, with no mention of Ant-Man. What was done well, and I thought what was essential for this story, was the previews for Civil War scenes with Captain America and Tony Stark butting heads more, which they've been doing forever. But what doesn't, it's just the Ragnarok stuff. You didn't need it at all. And actually, Joss Whedon, if you haven't heard, is leaving Marvel because he can't take it. You know, he just wants more creative freedom in Marvel Studios, and Kevin Feige wanted him to have all this stuff, and then after he was done shooting it all, they're like, okay, you need to cut this out. I heard that they gave him a choice, an ultimatum at the end, when he made his original cut. His original cut was over 3 hours long, but this movie was 1 minute shorter than Avengers 1, and only like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So they cut over 40 minutes out of the movie. And it was time to cut that stuff. They came to Joss Whedon and they're like, okay, we either cut the Ragnarok stuff or we cut the Farmhouse. And what are you going to cut? Obviously the Ragnarok stuff, because the Farmhouse is so essential, not only to Hawkeye's character, to ground the heroes, the previous Civil War, but also it's, in my opinion, some of the best part of the best part of the movie in a lot of ways. Obviously the Hulkbuster fight, the Ultron fight at the end is entertaining, but the Farmhouse is you get to sit and catch your breath, because the whole rest of the movie is just so in your face. That being said, does get even uglier, and as I mentioned, the Ragnarok stuff, from what's left in the movie, does not make any sense. It's Thor. Oh, I'm going to teleport over to Eric Selvig, and he's going to take me to this hole in the ground. And I'm going to jump in this pool with my shirt off. And all of a sudden, I see Idris Elba in my face with his blindness. And, oh, I understand now. It is the Ragnarok because of the Infinity Stones. Oh, I mean, with my shirt off, naked. Ah, just all of a sudden I have lightning powers. It doesn't make sense. What else can I say about this movie? Oh, another bit of ugly. Anthony Mackie, Falcon, wasn't in the end scene. He was in the beginning talking about how he's looking for Bucky, so it makes sense he's not there. But if you're going to put him at the end with Scarlet Witch and Vision and War Machine as the new Avengers, you've got to put him in the helicarrier scene where they're killing all the Ultron bots. Kayate. But onto what's left of Marvel. At end credit scene, obviously this is a spoiler alert. I mean, this is a spoiler review, so you know this is going to be a spoiler. But end credit scene, Thanos puts the gauntlet on, and he's like, time to do it myself. And there's a lot of gripes so far about it, but we all knew Thanos was going to be the end credit scene. The gripes so far have been, oh, well, we knew that was coming. Why not put something we don't know that is coming? It's like the whole movie is an end credits scene. We know Black Panther's coming now, and we know Civil War's coming, we know Spider-Man's in, we know Ragnarok's coming. I personally think Thanos is the best choice. Some people are like, well, why would he do it himself? This whole thing with the Mind Gem going to Earth, since Avengers 1, every Phase 3 Marvel film has been thanks to the Mind Gem getting to Earth. Every Phase 2 Marvel film has been thanks to Thanos. It starts with Avengers 1, which is the end of Phase 1. Avengers 1, Mind Gem, and the Tesseract. Tesseract's already on Earth. Thanos wants the Tesseract, and Thanos wants whatever else is on Earth. which could be more gems, which as far as we know, who knows what it is, but I mean, we know Doctor Strange is here. Maybe he has the reality gem. Makes sense for him to have it. But, so he sends the mind gem to Earth to invade Earth. Invasion doesn't work. Okay, well, the mind gem's still there. Let's have Hydra do stuff. And then Captain America 2, at the end of it, here's the mind gem. They made Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. So the mind gem is thanks to Ultron existing. And spoiler alert, heads up, if the mind gem is removed from Vision, Ultron returns, because Vision's beam thing isn't really. I mean, it can be an energy beam, but I think it's the beam at the end was him absorbing Ultron's intelligence. So if the mind gem gets removed, we have Ultron again in the form of Vision. And then, of course, the power gem and the... Is that the reality gem? Was the reality gem... Okay, so the one in Thor 2 with the ether, I forget which one it was. But anyways, Phase 3 is what I'm really excited for. I'm really excited to see the Infinity Gauntlet. I hope Phase 3 Part 1 and Phase 3 Part 2 aren't as cluttered as Avengers 2. If they aren't, and they have well-balanced action and suspense and more of this, awesome. I have something to look forward to. But if Avengers 3 Part 1 and 2 is as cluttered as Avengers 2, I am disappointed in Marvel. Marvel is allowed one mistake. Avengers 2 is the one mistake I will allow Marvel. It was a great movie, but they ruined a lot of it with this clutteredness. Ant-Man I'm a little worried for, honestly, but I'm also excited for it because it's a heist movie and it's a character, again, we know nothing about, so they can literally go in any direction, and we may be pleasantly surprised by some other universe tie-ins. Maybe Tony Stark, because he is also on the West Coast. I know San Francisco is 350 miles from Los Angeles or Malibu, but close enough. Anyways, that's my review, spoiler review for Avengers 2: Age of Ultron. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys soon.